Hold on. Was it Red? Was it Red Dead 2?
I believe that.
Gonna ask your question, Raph?
Yeah,
Raph, do you want to send me that
wanna-
question via Discord?
What do you want to ask the class?
Sure. It's not actually an important question. It's just one that is seeped in curiosity. I'll just DM you.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, why not share with the class?
Because we're passing notes, apparently.
Yeah, you never passed a note before in class?
Okay.
Very good. Good content. This is great.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we're killing it out here, guys.
We're doing fantastic. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
It was Mafia 3.
Excellent.
Yes.
There was also the new Wolfenstein, where you could also go into the south and kill clan members.
Classic.
Are we
That was
live?
We are
Yeah.
live.
We are alive.
We
I'm
are
gonna
live.
disappear for a second. I'm gonna go close the door that the dog opened magically.
Oh.
It's
What kind of dog?
Show us the dog. Show
Show
us the dog.
us the dog.
Show us.
No,
Do
because
I? Oh.
Sure. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I was gonna say, do you need me to jump in and do it, Will?
I could probably do it. Hello. Hi. Hey, hi. Hello. Welcome. We're live from the apocalypse. If you haven't caught us before, we are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that makes actual play content like streams and podcasts to raise money for nonprofits and aid organizations and other important causes like that. And this stream is raising money for Rainbow Railroad Canada, which is why the money is in Canadian dollars. So, yeah, they're a very important nonprofit that seeks to get queer people, but especially in this very dangerous time, trans people to safe locations, whether that be just out of unsafe living situations or different cities or states or what have you. And that they're a very good and important organization. And we just ask that if you like what you see here, instead of doing the normal Twitch things like donating, like subscribing or giving us bits, you instead take the $5 or the $6 or whatever you can spare. There is no expectation, and you give it directly to Rainbow Railroad instead of to us, because they will do very good and important things with it. And we just play games on the internet. So you will notice that if you seek the subscribe button, it is hidden. And if you can find it at your own peril, feel free to click it, though who knows what may follow. Or you can hit ! Donate in the chat, or you can just donate with the thing, and it'll post the link. And you can give your money to Rainbow Railroad, which would be very good and cool. We can't stop you from subscribing. If you do find it, you are welcome to do so. I guess it goes into supporting the channel, but just be aware that if you do so, beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brendan Lee Mulligan will kill a dog. He will kill one dog for every month you've subscribed to this channel. It's terrible. I haven't been here in a while. I shudder to think about what has happened.
100. There's been 100.
Okay, well, it's not great. Maybe donate instead. Maybe donate to Rainbow Railroad instead of doing that. So with all of that being said, I think that's it. There are channel points and emotes and all of that stuff. Was that one stream? Is that
no, that was over 2 weeks. That was over like 4 streams.
Steph said it was a massacre, so I don't know.
It was a massacre.
All right. Well, with all of that being said, I think that's it for me. I'll turn it over to Alex.
10 of 10. No notes. Good to see you again. Hi, I'm Alex. We're playing Changeling the Lost, Cold Iron, which is a alternate fantasy history game set in 1950 in the Soviet Union, where the Fey courts have taken over. Stalin the Winter King is reigning, and things are getting a little wonky in the city of Kaliningrad, where we are based at the moment, solving a little murder. That basically will bring you up to speed. I will have my lovely players introduce themselves and the characters that they are playing, their court affiliation, and then we will jump into it. So I'll start alphabetically. That's just the way it works. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm at Mightiest Finn on Twitter. I'm Mighty Finn on Blue Sky. I post pictures of my dog there, and got some Kickstarter news coming up, which I'm pretty excited about, but I'll plug that at the end. So that's me.
really quickly. Are we
Yes.
doing it alphabetically? Are we doing it seasonally, like you originally stated?
We will do
Ooh.
it seasonally as originally stated, because thank you for reminding me what past Alex decided, because
Of course.
current Alex has zero. I have zero memory of August, for example, so it's just
Fucking relatable.
Yeah.
Oof.
the July is the before times, and so I don't know. Yes, we'll go seasonally.
Okay.
What does that mean? Who
That
goes
means
That
Raph.
next?
means me.
Okay.
Spring, and then you just followed. I'm so sorry.
Hello. My name is Raph. August is in fact a myth. August was made up by the government to sell you back to school supplies. And I'm playing Yuna Odolova, curator, guardian, and what is the other word for it?
Sniper.
Chiller of the National Portrait Gallery.
Yeah.
I paint everyone's beautiful faces that are in the party, except for Kolya, who maybe
Hey.
one day will be granted permission to be painted by me. She's got to earn it.
Hmm.
So, other things. Oh wait, I'm Spring Court. What else do I have to share? I am wood, blood, elemental. I forget what the intro is. Honestly, cut away.
You did it.
I do like that Raph is completely right in that August was invented by the government. It was just the Roman government, and they were like, who was great? That Augustus guy.
That Augustus guy.
He's pretty cool. He's a god.
They
So let's
they really and he really liked back to school supplies. So they were
he
like,
was like, everyone should be going back to school every week. So
yeah.
buy
Okay,
your
hold on.
supplies.
Hold on, real quick. Oh, you leaving? Okay, goodbye.
Never,
I don't think I'm going to be able to keep them out. It's fine. I even did the little lock on the door. No
Okay.
dice.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Fantastic.
Right?
No, it's
No.
me.
Nope, it's cute.
Shit.
You got to follow the year, bud. I believe in you. Hi, I'm Q. I go by Midnight Inc. on the internet. That's Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. I am not legally permitted to speak about August, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Tonight, I will be playing Misha Dragunov, who is of the Summer Court. He's just a good little soldier. Nothing else. I don't know why you're asking. He is, however, a Darkling Leechfinger soldier.
Incredible. I'm proud of you, Will.
I'm singing the song in my head.
Hi, I am JD. In this game, I play Arcadia Volkov. He is of the Autumn Court, and he is just a good little innocent scientist. Don't know what else you would wonder about a good little hiss. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He's a beast and a venom bite. Again, don't worry. It's so fine. It's so good. He's real normal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Believable.
Mm-hmm. Real. Sounds real. Stop. Okay.
Hello, friends. I am Farah Sarkaya, and I am playing Veronica Strogoth, the Winter affiliate, a dancer, a music teacher, and a specialist of all things information. And that's it.
Of course. Of course it is. Hello. Hi, my name is Will. I am playing Kolya Smirnov. I am an unaligned wizened smith / stonebones, and I guess as an unaligned, that means that my season is August. So there's that.
So you're to
Ooh.
blame.
So
Yeah.
I'm to blame, I guess, which is fitting because I did not exist for that month. And yeah, it's Kolya. Kolya is a very normal, good a mechanic. That's all he does is that. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin, fucking grip it,
Okay,
rip
so
it,
is it
baby.
normal when you're
Slop that
doing
down,
mechanic work
dude.
on people
Yeah,
to
dude,
sort of like
crack one for the
rip them
big
apart?
boy.
I don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you so much for the donation. Also,
Thank you,
also
Mom.
to getting booed in the chat for being unaligned. I didn't have a choice. Alex made one of us be unaligned.
I did. Yep. I am
Hold on.
apparently the real monster, so you may
I
boo
should
me.
probably check.
Mhm.
Is that over, Goblin?
Yes.
Leave the unaligned alone. We're gonna fix that. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It's fine.
Also, thanks, Will's mom, for the donation.
Thank you, Will's mom.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you,
Will's
Will's mom. I saw the
Oh.
first reference to Thanks Will's mom in class reunion. I'm sorry, I'm fine. Seeing the little moments of that has just been so great. Like the start of the Raph, Video Ninja beef. It was it was
It's
Love an
so
origin
bad.
story.
phenomenal.
Oh
It's
shit!
still just as bad.
We didn't
It is.
start on Video Ninja with that game. Did we?
Yeah, we
Oh
did.
no, we
Did we?
no, we started with Google, didn't we?
I
Or
don't
was
think
that
so.
Nephilim?
Maybe
I
not.
think that was
I don't remember.
Nephilim.
Oh yeah, it would have been Nephilim. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
no. Yeah, it was definitely
Lies.
like you said Video Ninja, and I was like, well, it has begun. So good. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna shut up now. Alex, I'm excited to do this, man.
It's okay. So our lovely players have introduced themselves. You know our changelings, or you've met them now. And so I'm just gonna tell you a little story before we start. Let me hydrate. All right, friends. Arcadia has fallen. Perhaps it's because of the brutality of that final war that our memories are so disjointed, fractured, and broken. If memory is what makes us, then so many of us were unmade in the hellish forge our enemy created, so that few amongst us can truly call themselves whole. Deeper thinkers than I am occasionally wonder if the pull to return to lost Arcadia is something as simple as a desire to find our memories again, to make ourselves whole once more. Because while we may have hated it, feared it, or simply tried to ignore it, it was in Arcadia that we found out who we really are. And we've never been that way again since we fled, no matter how hard we try. So we tell stories of Arcadia that was, the way a drowning man grasps at anything that could save him. Stories give us hope that one day we will remember, and those memories will be pleasant. This is not a story of pleasant memories. This is a story of war, death, loss, and suffering. Of one of the greatest and most feared warriors Arcadia had ever known. Of a changeling so deadly, of a changeling so deadly, the merest whisper of his name was enough to send any into a terrified stupor. If only we could remember that name, but I suppose that's a mystery for another time. But for now, gather round and let me tell you the story of the broken soldier. Unlike so many of us, the broken soldier began life as anything but ordinary. From the very beginning, he was singled out for glory. The night he was born, they say that everyone in the city heard the thunder of drums in the distance. These were the drums of war, so said his father's advisors, and from that very moment, his path was chosen. He was trained by the finest warriors in his father's kingdom, and before he was fully grown, he had slain those teachers and began to seek new challenges. Armies, cities, kingdoms fell before him, and always he moved on to the next, never resting, never pausing. It was perhaps this sense of destiny that led him to seek out the warrior that legend held could not be killed. He found that warrior in a stinking cave, surrounded by the bones of the dead. Animals, humans, others he did not recognize. And when he confronted this beautiful creature with its perfect form, its lean limbs and coldly amused eyes, he felt the drumbeats that had marked his birth crash in furious triumph in his ears. but that sound did not come from without, but rather within, as though his heart was beating for the first time. He fought as he had never fought before. His spear was swifter than lightning, the iron muscles of his arms never flagging. He was planted like the roots of a mountain, unmovable. His strikes sang out to the time of the drumbeat of his heart, a perfect warrior's rhythm. It was not enough. For the first time in his life, he tasted the bitter ashes of defeat, felt his life's blood ebb away from 1,000 cruel slashes from an enemy he had no hope of defeating. Yet he fought on until his vision dimmed and his iron muscles rusted. And as he lay at the feet of his enemy, its foot on his neck, he waited for the killing blow. It never came. Instead, there came a choice. Return and live a life knowing you're not good enough, or leave and become greater than any mortal had ever dared become. The choice was simple. The drums would not be silenced until his heartbeat was done. He had heard their call, and he answered. He was taken through the hedge to a realm of obsidian towers, red banners, and gilded warriors. His skill at arms already surpassed those of the Fey Lord's mightiest warriors, and he was made a general and sent to war. War against an implacable, insidious foe who used every trick and stratagem to bring down the Crimson Knights. But he endured. He fought. He won. In battle, his heart sang out to the rhythm of the drums of war, and he again knew victory. Hard fought, hard won. It didn't last. How he died, no one knows. A blade in the dark? Poison? There was trickery. On that we're all agreed. And when he awoke on the slab, with the faces of his enemies gazing down upon him, he screamed with rage. He attacked. He was subdued. He was broken and remade by his new Fey Lord, one who had very different ideas about what made a mighty warrior. He was sent into battle again, but there was no glory in it. He struck from the shadows, more an assassin than a soldier. His victims were countless, and a new name was whispered throughout Arcadia, that of the good doctor's loyal wraith, who fought for his master until the end, even as Arcadia burned around them. No one knows what happened to him in that final battle. Maybe he made it out alive, but I find that hard to believe, because I'm sure such a ruthless and skilled killer would make their presence felt in our new paradigm. We have use for such men. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he learned the lessons of his final lord well, and has remained in the shadows. I, for one, hope he made it out alive. The motherland needs soldiers, warriors, and others with special skills in these dark times. Dark times such as those that are happening right now, in Kaliningrad, in the Wolf's Den, where Spring Counselor Irina Martov holds court, and where an armed gunman has burst into the dining room, pistol leveled. Isha. From the floor, as the blood in your heart starts to circulate once more, and the whisper of those old drums begins to beat louder in your ears, you watch as the gunman, faster than lightning, puts 2 bullets in the back of Spring's counselor. What would you like to do?
I would like to remove that arm from the rest of him.
Wonderful. How would you like to do that?
I think moving quickly, not quick enough, obviously. He slides over. His mask is off because he was in the shadows.
Correct.
But as he moves, the hat is down, covering most of his face. But he can still see, and he's going for the arm that is outstretched, a perfect target to be removed. We're going to take both blades, whirling, and just cut clean through it.
All right, I will have you first make me an initiative roll.
Okay. Okay. We're going to quick draw my blades because I can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to do weaponry. We are on location. So we're rolling the digital way, gang. Okay. Oh wait. That's silly. Only needed to roll one.
Yes, just the one.
There we go. That is 7 plus 2, so 9. That is 17.
Very good. You will act first. So please go ahead and make your attack with your weapons. This is going to be strength weaponry, I believe.
It is.
Yes.
And however, before I do that, I am going to activate stone.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. So 1, 2, 3. Nice. 4. Can I get one more? No. 4 successes. So I'm adding 4 to my strength.
Okay.
Defense.
You're going to be subtracting 7 dice from your pool.
Ooh, spicy. Well, it's a good thing. So that is 8.
Anybody else got a 7 defense?
Don't worry about it. There's a reason for that.
13. I'm
Is there?
Yes.
8. So 5.
Is the reason death?
Yeah.
Ah.
We'll spend a willpower because you got me fucked up. Hiya. All right. All right. It's 1, 2, 3. All right. That is 4 successes.
4 successes. All right.
Yeah.
How much damage do you end up dealing then?
I think it was my strength plus 2 because it's weapon of the. All right, so that's 10. And I do have night fighting, so I'm gonna take the other roll.
Okay.
Take the other attack. Every other attack. His defense goes down by 1 unless he has a thing that says he does not. I have Spetsnaz.
I remember reading that in the rulebook, like back in college, and being like, well, that's a wild thing to include. And this is the one game where it makes sense.
Yep. Alrighty, 2.
I will say his defense does not go down.
Good to know.
You know what's crazy about that is like, I'm looking at my character sheet and defense is the lower of dexterity or wits, which is like,
plus armor, plus other things.
Armor's separate.
Oh, is armor separate?
Yeah.
Then it's minus 5. Excuse me.
All right. So that was still 2 successes.
Okay.
So there's still another 10.
Okay. So what ends up happening is you come up. The arm is extended. It's a big ol'. I mean, this is a large individual. If you remember last time, the arm is severed. There's no resistance Your blades go through, the arm falls to the floor, and there's no blood. And the individual doesn't even seem to notice, and indeed, as the arm hits the floor, it just sort of splats like a snowball hitting a concrete floor, and then it pools back together and just like goes into his shoe, and he looks at you, and it's at this point you see that his eyes are just blue. Like there's no whites of his eyes. It's either the iris is so big it's blue or something else is going on. And he just gives you a big ol' smile behind his great big bushy beard. And then you smell ozone and copper. And he just vanishes.
This does seem like a good time for Raph's pyramid, if we want to classify what he turned into.
I don't think I want that. I don't want that knowledge. I don't.
It's goop.
It's goop.
Goop
goop.
to gas.
Absolutely goop. And so, as we pan away from this scene,
What?
With Arena bleeding out on the floor, we are going to reverse time a bit. And we are going to go back to the moment immediately after you all escaped from the morgue, when Kolya was pulled aside and instructed that the council had a bit of a question for you. And by had a bit of a question, that that's a summons that you can't really disregard.
Yes. Kolya would excuse himself. He has business to attend to. I guess he would leave them the car.
Okay, because there is a car waiting for you.
Yeah.
And you are brought to the council at the city hall. You've been here many times. And you're shown in again. The 4 counselors are all there. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. And they don't look pleased. And Spring, Arena, says, Kolya, do we have to summon you for you to come visit me?
Yes.
There's a pout. That's not how I want our relationship to be. She sort of walks up to you, gets a little too close for comfort, and says, you know they're very angry with you.
I suppose I am here to find out why.
She sort of leans back, looks at the other counselors who are all sitting there, and it is Konstantin Oktay, who is the summer counselor, the general of the local garrison, looks up and says, we heard you had a bit of a problem at the morgue. Is it really wise to spend your time there? There were a number of leads in the briefing that we provided you. And now one of them is talking to people who are not you.
I was led to understand that my role here is as the local guide and liaison representative to these very capable and qualified investigators that have been sent here.
There are 4 very flat looks from everyone. We do expect you to show a little initiative, Kolya.
Understood. Examining the body did seem like the logical place to start.
Logical place to start. But there is a time imperative.
What did you hear about what happened at the morgue that took so long?
We have our contacts, as you know. There was an alarm that alerted the entire garrison. I take it wasn't too troublesome.
Perhaps not too troublesome, but fighting for our lives did end up taking longer than anticipated. I apologize.
All of them, except for Arena, who looks legitimately concerned for your well-being. The others don't. Say, very well. We are glad to hear you survived. Now, you are going to have to deal with Yekaterina. We think.
I know who that is.
Yes. She runs a small cafe down by the beach.
And when you say deal with,
She has been telling anyone who comes in to that ridiculous store of hers that she saw Dr. Morozov running naked through the streets the morning that he died. It is disconcerting, if true, slanderous, if false.
and you would like me to determine the veracity of these statements and investigate.
Speak to her. Convince her that there are certain appropriate people to speak with. Yourself, for example.
Very well. You would like me to take care of this alone?
For the moment, I think it's best not to involve the others. This is... Ekaterina is a well-respected member of our community. Deal with it with discretion, if you don't mind.
We are acquainted.
We thought you might be.
Well, I would not want to waste any more time. I know it is of the essence.
Indeed not. The other two counselors not speaking at all, just sort of. But as you are absolutely dismissed, note, like, very clearly, Arena comes up to you and says, "No, if you do want to waste some time later, you are welcome in the Wolf's Den anytime."
Yes, I know. Your hospitality is legendary.
She looks at your exposed arms. She's like, "I might even waive the dress code for you."
Well, that is more than I deserve. Very kind. Thank you so much. Have you spoken with these investigators?
Not yet. I hope to see them this evening.
You might like some of them.
Oh, I like Yuna very much.
Well, perhaps this evening then.
She gives you a nod, and you leave the building.
Do you?
If you're going to Yekaterina's shop, it's very easy to find. You just head towards the beach.
Yeah, and I do that. I think it's pretty close. The beach is pretty close by, right? So
Yeah, it's less than a mile.
yeah, absolutely great. So I will head straight there, I think, and I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I have any reason to stop or anything else to do in the meantime. So
All right, so we're heading right there, and it's just before that dinner time rush. In fact, you may notice the other investigators walking along the street, very engrossed in conversation, to the point where they don't notice you.
I wouldn't want to interrupt. Yeah.
No, indeed, it was a very important conversation. We learned a lot. But you come to Ekaterina's shop, which is... It's like a small brick building that's got a very big exterior seating arrangement, like a little low wall that's got all kinds of plants on it. Very quaint. It's a little too cute for Kaliningrad almost, but it's clearly catering to like the very upscale people who come to vacation here. The weird thing is, at this time of day, there should be at least someone outside, but there's no one sitting outside, and inside it looks dark. You know, it's got those big windows with the gilt on it that says Yekaterina's. You would expect to see life and light and vibrancy, but there's nothing.
Does it look closed?
No.
Okay.
The sign in the window says open, and the door
Okay.
is ever so slightly ajar.
Okay. Then I will, I will open the door. If it seems eerily empty, like there aren't customers for whatever reason, I'll give like a knock, I guess, sort of like a loud knock on the door frame.
There is a moment, because it does seem as though there is no one here. You give a knock, and there's a moment, a pause, and then you hear, "Come in." It's Yekaterina's voice.
Hello? Are you open? The place seems spooky.
Oh no, everything is fine. And you come in, and it's like it's a smaller, like little intimate cafe setting inside. Little tables, little candles on them. None of them are lit, and there's like a bar at the back where you would order. And Yekaterina is standing at it, ramrod straight, hands on the counter.
Katerina?
She has the kind of unfocused look, and it takes her a minute. And then, Polya, what are you doing here?
I was hoping we might have a word. Hey, Alex.
Yes.
What the fuck's going on?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Would you like to roll me a wits composure to get a lay of the land?
I can do that. I rolled 4 4s. No successes, but that's cool.
Yekaterina is a bit of an eccentric. This is not the weirdest thing that you've ever experienced from her, but it's also not the normalest thing you've ever experienced from her.
Of course. I wanted to have a word with you about, what was the doctor's name again? Sorry.
Morozov.
About Dr. Morozov.
Yes. The doctor.
Yes.
The one who died.
You saw something, perhaps?
There's a very long pause. Uncomfortably long. And she says, "No, I don't think I did."
Oh.
I'll have you make wits composure again.
Cool. That time I got a 9.
Okay. You have, I guess, I imagine because you failed your first roll, you've been sort of slowly approaching to like within counter, you're sort of standing at the counter with her. And she's all, this is weird. You've now cottoned on to the fact that this is something very strange based on what the council literally just told you, that she won't shut up about it. And it's her eyes that catch your attention. There's a very unfocused look to them, like she's seeing past you. She's not looking at you. And it's at that point that you realize there is another person in this cafe. They're standing right behind her. You don't know how you didn't notice them. But from what you can see, they have their hand in the back of her head. And they're just articulating her. They don't seem to think that you have the possibility of noticing them. But it's a very tall man in a black leather coat. Long blonde hair, big bushy beard, eyes completely blue.
I think, oh boy, all right. I think Kolya is going to let his hands drop. They've kind of been resting on the countertop. He's going to let them drop to his sides. And then he's going to nod slowly at Ekaterina's response and then say, "We haven't been introduced."
I'm not sure what you mean, Kolya. We've known each other for years.
Katerina and I have. But
At
you
that
there,
point,
we have
at
not
that
met.
at that point, the eyes really lock on you, the blue eyes. And they crinkle at the edges, laugh line, like he's amused. And he gives a little smirk. He says, "Very good job seeing through most of your kind. Too limited. But I suppose Ekaterina has fulfilled her function." And then you see his fingers go through her eyes.
You son of a bitch.
And he just, with this big bare hand, crushes this and tosses her away. Kolya, what do we do now? It's getting late, and I believe I have an engagement.
That was a mistake. Kolya's just going to reach for him.
Okay. Make me we'll do initiative first.
Okay. I got a 10, so that's a 14.
Okay. I got a 19.
Fine. But did you get a 10? Because that's kind of rolling a 20, so
well,
I mean...
I appreciate you. He is very fast, though.
Sure,
and as soon as your Kolya hand comes up, you smell ozone, and you smell this coppery iron, and you hear he just vanishes in front of you, and then you hear the door behind you swing open, and he is running.
Okay. There's a moment where Kolya considers pursuit. I think he stops himself and lets out a very heavy sigh. He comes around the counter and he crouches down over Ekaterina's body. And he just sort of places them flat, like I'm sure they fell in a very unnatural way, and he places them so that they're, lying down, and I think he just sort of crouches there looking down at them, and he closes his eyes, he clenches them really tightly, and lays a hand on their chest and says a prayer for the dead in Russian, something he would have picked up in prison.
There are no ears to hear except yours, but you do say it. And for the sake of plot, how do you find yourself back at the Wolf's Den, just as Counselor Martov is shot and Misha de-arms the assailant?
I think Kolya would stay with Ekaterina. She wasn't a changeling, right?
Nope, just a human.
So I think he would alert the council that there was another murder. I don't think he would see himself having any other choice, especially since he could be very easily implicated in this. And he wants them to be aware of that. And then I think he would excuse himself, basically. He would leave it to them to contact the authorities and send somebody to discover the body. He wouldn't be there when they show up. After that, I think Kolya's mad. I think he's pissed. He didn't want to be involved in this in the first place, and now more people are dead and more people are dying, and also he wasn't able to stop this from happening. So I think he's going to go home. Until he can't anymore, until somebody pulls him out, presumably because they're going to the Wolf Den and he is part of this investigation, like it or not.
Yeah, I think when you contact the council, you get the reply of, "We'll look into it," and send someone, and then it takes some hunting down of you, but a member of the staff of the Wolf's Den finds you in the streets. Is like, Councillor Martov wanted to speak with you about an incident.
Yes, of course. I live to serve the council members, as do we all. At the town hall?
The Wolf's Den.
Of course. Even better.
So, the scene that you come in on is the Wolf's Den, which is the fanciest restaurant bar in town. It is absolute pandemonium as you get in there. People are running around, people are hiding under the very nice, very polished tables, chairs are overturned, and you see your fellow investigators sort of around the place. Misha is there, unmasked, wielding some swords. And Counselor Martov is lying in the middle of the restaurant, face down, making extreme pained noises, we'll say. What would the rest of you like to do? Misha did some chopping of arms. Kolya has just arrived. Yuna, Arcadia, and Veronica. What are your reactions to...
Absolutely running to Arena. And after the Mr. Goop disappeared, I think she runs over and is just like flips Arina over and is just saying, Arina, darling Arina, no, this is not right. This is not right. And just trying to like push on the bullet wounds and maybe heal if there's any possibility. And there's just like, as soon as she arrives and starts like pushing on it, and there's like tears in her eyes, and there's just like the smell of moldy wet wood, and she's just holding on to Arina.
I believe you have a healing contract.
I do.
Why don't you spend the necessary amount of stuff? And
So
yes,
if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think you have to pay anything because she fed you. I'm gonna check. I'm just gonna look it up.
That could be cool.
That would be sick. Also, do
Sweet.
you really want me using all of my things on an NPC? I will.
Yes, obviously.
That is Mama.
That's what they're
she
there
is
for.
a very important NPC.
I think there'd be some questions if you didn't use everything on the
Yeah.
very important NPC.
Imagine if I was like, oh no!
So the
okay.
catch for this
So
one is
It's
you have
the
honest.
heartfelt love, which you still have done.
That is correct. Serena is mommy. So
Yeah.
Hey, did you? Okay, fair.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Listen.
you don't spend any glamour on that, which is good because that shit's it's expensive.
Stuff. But so
All
you
right.
will roll wits, medicine, and however many ranks you have in your mantle of spring, which should be 4.
Wit. Hold on, one more time. Wit,
Medicine.
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 Hold on. Okay, I gotta count now. That's hard. 1, 2, 3.
Clearly, we're not one of the math gays. It happens.
No.
Absolutely not. And then I roll mantle or eternal spring, because eternal
Yeah.
spring is the
Eternal Spring is the contract.
Yep.
You are adding your mantle to the numbers that we just said.
which is 4.
Yeah, you're adding 4 to your wit
adding-
and medicine.
4 dice or 4 plus 4 the
4
number.
dice.
4 dice.
Hurt.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Remember, 10s explode.
Great. Yeah. Well, they would, wouldn't they?
They would if they existed here.
They would if they existed in this universe.
Yeah.
That is just 3.
That's still fine. That's enough to
something.
stabilize her and
Okay,
prevent her
thank
from
God.
bleeding out. What does this healing look like?
I think she is, like I said, she's holding Arina in like she's not very strong, so she's kind of just
Right
Good,
on cue.
Right. Yep. Video Ninja decided. We'll say Arcadia and Veronica, while the healing is happening, and you're able to witness that Yuna is seeming to take care of that situation. What would you like to do as you see Kolya enter and the healing happen?
hello. Anyway, so you described her as a very, very tall muscle mommy, right? So
Yes.
I just kind of knees on the ground, holding her head up. And I think she's going to locate where the 2 bullet holes are and using her hand, she's going to stick her fingers in them. And then that, like I described, like that smell of wet wood and moss and mold starts to really permeate. And there's what looks like, I'm going to say like red roots that kind of grow out of the bullet holes and almost like create a patchwork over it. And you see they're kind of like splattered. They're very messy. They're not very like, they barely look organic. They almost look like weird twisted bones, but it's roots. Maybe, who knows what it is, to be honest.
Fantastic. So the bullet runes are in the back, so that's how you get in and you pull them out.
Flop her over.
She, as this is happening, you're on wood, like a wood floor, highly lacquered, really bright. And as this is happening, you can see little shoots coming up out of the dead wood. Like trees are starting to grow around her. You're pretty sure that she is adding some of her own springness to this, even unconsciously. And so by the time you're done, there's like a little circle of like 2-foot tall saplings around you both. And that brings us to Arcadia and Veronica, who have been in the booth while all of this occurred.
Kissing.
I mean,
Veronica
Arcadia
doesn't kiss.
Yes, I don't know
Please.
what you're thinking about. Arcadia has been kneeling at Veronica's feet, so that is what Kolya walks in to see. And I think Arcadia's initial plan had been to do what he could to stabilize Arena, but since Yuna has that in hand, he's just going to look up at Veronica and say, it would seem worth it to see if we can figure out where that man, if we can call him a man, where he came from. May I?
By all means.
And he's going to stand and head straight to where the bear entered.
That was the kitchen.
I am heading straight for the kitchen.
All right. The kitchen is... It is a charnel house. There are dismembered chefs, sous chefs, staff. The man who did the killing, or did the shooting, just ripped through back here, and you all never heard a word or a sound. Based on the number of limbs and heads, there are probably 7 people back here that aren't people anymore.
Arcadia looks around and takes that in. It's not an unfamiliar view for
You
him,
need not.
so he just kind of glances around, takes inventory of the bodies, and I think as much as he can, tries to put a timeline together. He knows how long it takes to take a body apart under normal circumstances. He would like to know how long it took this individual. Stop shaking your head at me, Will.
How about an intelligence medicine roll?
I'd love to. Three.
Okay. So, on the beach, you and the other court investigators figured out that use of the labyrinth leaves physical trace. On the beach, it was crystallized sand turned to glass, a smell of ozone and copper and iron. There is a scorch mark in the middle of the kitchen, like dead center, that smells of that. And then, as you're looking around, whatever happened before anyone could scream, before anyone could make a noise. So it was seconds. You're not sure what kind of weapon would have caused these wounds, but they are certainly not clean, we'll say. There's something brutal about them. And so, to the best of your knowledge, this person appeared in the middle of the kitchen, massacred these people, probably with his bare hands, and then walked out to shoot Arena.
Interesting.
Veronica. Arcadia has left to the kitchen.
My internet was having some feelings.
Oh.
Is that person dead? Like,
yes.
fully
well,
dead?
Gone.
Okay.
Disappeared.
Shucks. In that case, I will join Arcadia in the kitchen and take a look at the bodies to see means. You said bare hands, but I mean, there's a lot of ways to rip a man apart. So
true. I will have you make me an intelligence medicine roll.
Okay.
And since this was a painful way to die, you can have your bonus dice from that.
Okay. I think I'm rolling this right. Okay.
Should be 8d10, I think.
Yeah. Great. So that's 3, 4, 5. 5 successes and 2 of those are 10s. Do I roll those again, right?
Yes, you do. Yep.
Okay. And then that's another 2 successes. So
okay.
7.
Beautiful. So Arcadia, you were able to put together a sort of timeline. Veronica, you can see it happen. You see the man step out of the portal. You see a neck twist so fast it happens in the blink of an eye. You see an arm ripped out of socket and bludgeoned someone else. You see lungs crushed. You see bodies basically explode with the force that they are being hit with. And it's all so fast. But you do I think you focus in on the fact that there are heads being turned around, which is in fact how Dr. Morozov died. And the impact of this person's hands and punches is enough to cause similar damage to the chest wounds that you saw on Dr. Morozov.
We're alone in here, right?
Just you and the dead.
Great. As she's investigating, I think Veronica narrates all of this. Very clinical, with an uncomfortable amount of appreciation for the artistry.
Arcadia loves nothing more than listening
to
her speak.
Well, it's not so terribly inconvenient. I would be very interested to speak to this person to see. It's wonderful, isn't it? Perhaps we should rejoin the elders.
I would love to see him in your chair.
We will, soon enough. One hopes.
I look forward to it.
Don't shake your head at me, Will.
It just feels like I shouldn't be here. It just feels like this shouldn't be in public.
I'm just a wonderful educator and singing instructor. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just love learning.
Arcadia's
not
got a little
even-
rainbow. The more you know. So we will go back to the dining floor as Arcadia and Veronica emerge, blood all over their shoes. Misha, your enemy disappeared. Yuna seems to have stabilized the arena situation, and then you see Kolya walking in the door. Kolya, is it like a thundercloud? Do we have visible, like, anger lines radiating off of us?
I think he looks sullen, but I saw the dude, right? Like, right as he disappeared, or I saw him goop, right?
I think you did see him goop, yes.
Okay. So then I think there's like thunderclouds and like rage. Like, I think he probably would have actually like started building up speed to like charge this person, but not fast enough, clearly. Again, which just makes him angrier. And I think at that point he might actually like right afterwards. So this would definitely happen before any of the other stuff we've talked about. I think he might have actually, in frustration as this guy disappeared, just like pick up a table and like throw it against the wall and where it smashes.
It does. Yes.
So, Misha is going to very calmly move over to the table because he had to like jump and duck and tumble to get over to him. Retrieves his mask, affixes it to his face, and looks at Kolya. Are you any good at tracking?
As good as any man, I suppose, but not a specialist by any means. Who was that man?
I'm pretty positive. And he'll look back at Veronica and Arcadia that have come back out. And then see the blood on the floor. How bad is it in there?
It is a work of art.
It is a massacre.
Then this is the one responsible for this entire case.
Yes.
It would seem.
We'll say you did on the beach. You found 2 sets of human tracks
Mm-hmm.
and one set of equine tracks.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
24-hand horse.
24-hand horse.
24 hands. Yeah, it's a lot of horse.
A lot of hands.
Horse doesn't need that many hands. Horse doesn't need
Right.
any hands.
Horse.
Correct.
You're a horse. You don't need hands. What are you doing?
Correct. Right. And he's not alone. But we've only seen him.
Also, this I will say, since you who are on the beach also then saw him. The footprints that you found on the beach were like a usual mid-sized human.
Mm-hmm.
You said an 8 to 10 boot.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This individual is significantly larger than that.
Could have been on the equine, though. It was a very large horse.
Yes.
Unusually.
24 hands.
Perhaps this is my second time today seeing this man.
Oh?
He murdered a cafe owner on the beach. Someone that the council sent me to speak to.
In what regards?
She had this story that she was telling about the doctor before his death. He was manipulating her physically. His hand was inside her head, the back of her head.
Hmm.
When I made myself known, when I made it clear that I could see him, he killed her. Without a second thought.
What would he benefit from using a strange cafe woman as a puppet?
Maybe he wanted her to stop talking too.
What was she saying?
Was it
She
a good
said-
story?
She said that she saw the doctor running through town, naked. Was naked,
It was a
right?
good story.
Naked and raving, like he was drunk.
Also painted.
Also painted. That's a good note. Painted what color?
Red.
Nope.
Like the paint that you found on the autopsy.
Yeah, okay, cool. Painted red. So this would have been right before his death.
Perhaps these are things we should not speak of, and I point to the population of the cafe.
I thought everybody ran out.
People ran out, but there are also plenty of individuals cowering. Now that the danger seems to have passed, they're sort of like coming out from behind flipped tables and whatever.
I think Kolya's gonna start like making the rounds around while like he's gonna remove himself from this conversation and just start like telling the people that it's fine now, it's safe. They can come out. They should leave though, obviously. Go somewhere safe.
Yes.
Yuna takes a shot and then turns to Misha and says, "We must report this to the council. Will you help with the body? I'm not strong enough."
I imagine you have healed her enough she can stand on her own.
She's stable, but
in fact, as you
difficult.
are having this conversation, you weren't able to notice this at first because of what she was wearing, it was pretty, like, she's got a suit on basically. But you see that there are her veins are blackening, and it's spreading up her neck.
That does not look good.
Can I check this out?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanna
medicine?
take some.
You want to take her blood?
A little bit.
Okay. How are you doing that? Our scientists can come over, since there's probably noises of distress.
They
or something.
probably have the tools, so I'll just have my little empty vial with me.
Just do a little bit of bloodletting.
If it's a chemical that would cause pain, could I get my bonus dice?
It's a chemical that causes death, not pain.
Sure it's not both?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt at all. Doesn't feel yucky or
I don't like.
She has a tummy ache, actually.
That's 4 success for Veronica.
Okay. Arcadia, it's clearly poison. That much you know. Veronica...
I think Arcadia was also distracted because he definitely went to one of the tables and was just like, the bear is gone for now, but he will return. I would advise you leave.
Jesus Christ.
Also, you have to take a shot if you stand up.
we're still playing by those rules. The people are very concerned by this. Fairly certain the game ended when the man came and shot people.
It is what she would have wanted.
That is true, actually. That is very true. Veronica, you're not certain you've seen anything like this before. Without more extensive testing and the facilities to do it, your best guess is A, the bullets are somehow poisoned, and B, that the poison is not something from this world.
Veronica will snap at Arcadia to stop getting distracted. Collect some of her blood. We need to test it.
Understood. My apologies. And I will take some of her blood.
If you're
go ahead.
taking blood, and she'll reach into a little pocket and take out a small like ink pot and just say, may I have some?
I would never interfere with art.
I will also impress on those of you who are examining this person, she will likely die in the next hour, 2, maybe, if you're lucky.
That was the end of that sentence? Okay, cool.
Okay. Is this, and this, I'm assuming this is not something we've seen before. Like,
no.
What Veronica said, we'd have to do some sort of tests.
No, and I think I will have anyone who wants to make me a intelligence wits roll.
Intelligence and wits together.
Yes, together.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm back.
Yep.
Ooh.
7 is not a success.
Oof.
No.
Oof.
I got 1 success.
I got a whopping goose egg, gang.
Okay. Is that a 5, Farah?
Yes, that is a 5.
Excellent. A couple of things flash through all of your minds as you're thinking about this. Thing 1, it would be very bad for Spring's counselor to die on your watch.
Yeah.
Like, not just Yuna's court allegiance, there would be ramifications with the Central Committee to have a member of the council die while you're there, in your care, basically. Thing 2, the thing that you realize, Arcadia, is that Kaliningrad, while it has a technical university, that's where Dr. Morozov worked, is unlikely to have the facilities that you would need in the time frame that you need them. With a 5, Veronica, you would estimate that Councillor Martov has about an hour and 15 minutes left. Based on the progression. It's not good.
Would I be able to use my eidetic memory to glean anything about the specific poison? If I've seen it before?
Yes. That is a fair use of that, and I'm just going to give it to you that you have never run across this specific thing before. This is new. Kolya. There is a doctor in Kaliningrad who has what you might call a non-standard setup.
Illegal. The word you're looking for is illegal.
However,
Right.
this person is known for their healing abilities and for their knowledge specifically of like compounds, of extractions. They're called the chef.
Yeah, they are. Okay, cool. Fantastic.
Alex, quick question. Was that the same name that was mentioned to Arcadia? Okay. Those notes got eaten, so I don't have an eidetic memory. I need to ask you.
I, JD, do not have an identity. Yes. Yes, Dr. Darova at the morgue indicated that if you wanted some work done on the samples that you got of compound death, which is the very serious name of the good doctor's zombie compound, that the chef might be able to assist you in that.
Very cool. Very cool. So I have contacts too. One of those is like, Kaliningrad underground. So yeah, I guess I would want to. I can roll for it if you want. I don't remember quite how contacts works, but basically to like, if I need to roll to get a meeting with this with the chef, or if I like already know where the chef operates out of.
I'm gonna say with context 2, you know where the chef is because that's not something that most people do.
Right.
And I'm not gonna have you roll it, but it's not that you have a relationship with the chef, but you are well known enough that you're not gonna immediately get hucked out. Because the chef is extremely paranoid. That is another thing you know about them.
Yeah. I may know a man who can help. Would he also be able? Would I know? Would he also be qualified to treat? It's not Arena.
It is
Right?
Arena.
It is Arena.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep,
Okay,
counselor.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I will say the reason you know of the chef as much as you do is when people get injured and you don't want to go to the hospital, that's where you send them.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I may know a man who can help both identify what this toxin is and also save her life. But
nothing. We go now.
Yes.
We go now, but it would probably be best if it was just me.
Alone.
Certainly not.
He is a cautious man.
The chef is a they them, by the way.
He is a cautious person. They are a cautious person. What the fuck? Okay, Jesus Christ.
His pronouns are they them.
Yeah. Oh.
I intend to see if I can find this person, this individual. Get eyes on whatever this thing is and its cohorts. I work best alone and in the shadows anyway.
I suppose we are under contract to not do anything against the case. And this would fall under the case. So, Kolya, I will still follow you.
I will also just say time for plot reasons, Q, you are going to go off on your own due to reasons. So I think if we send the group minus Misha to the chef, that can be what we do in part 2. And I think this is a good place to have a quick little break.
A little break.
Let's do it. Let's take a little breaky break. See you soon. We're back. Maybe.
Back. Misha has gone on Misha's quest to hunt the bear of Kaliningrad, which was not the name that I gave this NPC when we started, but that's where we are.
And I love it.
So
it's very on point.
Who knows when we will see the bear of Kaliningrad or Misha again? if we will see the Bear of Kaliningrad or
Shit.
Misha again. Who knows?
I don't
We
like
better.
that.
I have
What-
questions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
why would you say things like that, Alex?
I need to see his face.
No particular reason.
Maybe one of
So-
us has seen this face.
It's just whether or not this person can remember it.
Oh my god, did you guys kiss?
I told you, Veronica doesn't kiss.
Wait, see
No,
Misha's
Misha
face?
and Arcadia.
If Arcadia could remember, maybe we could answer that.
Oh my god, how do we help you remember?
You gotta drop that clarity, yo. You gotta drop it. You gotta smash that boy's clarity into the ground.
All
and
right,
then-
let's get to it.
Challenge accepted.
All right, so Misha goes off on his own to do Misha things, which we will probably explore at the start of next game. Or maybe he and I will just have a fun little session of our own.
Oh,
Who knows?
private session, cute.
See what happens. But you, with Arena's vaguely conscious body, she's fighting it. She's a very strong changeling with a lot of weird and a lot of power,
Of
and
course.
even that is merely keeping this at bay. Any other person, dead. Absolutely, without question. It is the life-giving power of spring that is allowing her to hold on as long as she is. So it is...
I'm not letting go of her hand. I'm assuming Kolya is carrying her. I'm right there.
Her grip is stronger than you would think.
Mm.
She knows you're there.
Mm.
It's going to be a hike to get to the chef. So unless you have transportation, you are going to waste a significant amount of time just in the getting there.
We
Guess
have
when
a
they-
car, right?
Yeah, we had a driver as well. Who
we had a
wasn't
cop
Kolya?
that we requisitioned also.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
You did requisition a soldier driver.
That's true.
Correct. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. You do have a car. It'll be a bit cramped, but you can all fit in there.
Absolutely.
So, Kolya, there is a member of the Red Army who is driving this car. Not a
Okay.
changeling. Just a dude.
We
you know,
borrowed
the
him.
chef hates the Red Army.
We can show
Yes.
him away if preferable.
Perhaps we could just take the car.
I look at the man and go, goodbye.
Of course. Enjoy your evening. Is that Councillor Martov? He says as you guys peel away.
When he asks the question, all he gets is a dead stare.
Great. Above my pay grade. Enjoy your evening. And who's driving? I assume it's Kolya.
Probably. That was
So-
my thought as well.
If you want to drive with speed, you will need to make me a dexterity drive. I'd also allow a
Okay.
wits drive roll.
Drive.
Drive.
I
Okay,
don't
cool.
think Yuna has a license.
You are all licensed. Don't worry. You're
Is that-
members of the party. You have
Is
licenses.
it valid? That's the next question.
Is that Dex drive?
Dex
Okay.
drive or wits drive. Your choice.
Right. Sorry, let me just see this.
Give me the positions that everyone else is in the car.
Middle seat, I'm assuming next to the body, and just holding, honestly, just trying, fingers once again, not necessarily inside the bullet holes because there are roots now there, but resting on and pressuring on. And I think the more she presses, they are slowly tentacly stretching, and there's a little, leaf that pops up every once in a while. She plucks off.
In the front,
Uh-huh.
of course.
Naturally.
Shotgun.
Always.
As small as possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Kolya, what did you get on your drive roll?
I got a success.
Okay, that's good enough. So you've experienced Kolya's driving before when it was just like average everyday traveling through the whatever, the city. This is much more exhilarating, we'll say. There is weaving, there are corners being cut, you are driving through alleys that are a little tighter than they should be. And while all of this is going on, Yuna, Arena is in the back, eyes like she's clearly trying to stay awake, clearly trying to like will herself to consciousness. And you can see she is not necessarily succeeding. She's fading in and out and like rocking back and forth as the car is speeding its way through the streets.
Mm.
And at one point her head kind of slumps forward and you see like trickles of this black liquid coming out of her nose and her eyes.
Oh God.
She like then, you know, Kolya gives it a gun and she like sort of rocks back and you can see she's crying this ichor, whatever. It's coming out of her nose. And she looks at you and she says, "You think it's worth it, Yuna?"
Driving to the doctor?
She gives a laugh and it's very wet. Like there's something in her lungs. No. Connection. When it ends, just hurts.
Connection is quite literally what keeps us all together. And I promise that today, yours will not be cut short. Ours is strong. The spring court connection is strong. And I think she like grips, like holds holds Adina's head back a little bit, takes out a very dirty, not like dirty with grime, but dirty with like paint stains, and there's like dried chunks of paint and all sorts of strange stuff on it. And she just kind of like cleans her up, somewhat sloppily, and then just like holds her hand tightly.
Arcadia hands you a handkerchief.
Yeah, she takes it. She says, "Thank you. This is probably a little bit more hygienic."
Arena looks at you, Arcady, sort of looking past Yuna. Says, "I had not thought to meet two gentlemen of autumn." And then she looks very, like her eyes sort of focus in on you, Yuna, and she says, "Don't let this one go." And then her head sort of slumps forward. She's still breathing. She's still breathing,
Yeah.
but she is unconscious.
Okay. Definitely just like tilt head back, like when you have a nosebleed, and hold Arcadie's handkerchief to it. Just trying to clean her up. And then she just kind of turns to Arcady and says, "Well, it seems that we are fated to be friends. Arina said so." Also, is there another of the autumn court here?
There are many of the autumn court here.
Based on your conversation from last time, it's pretty clear she's talking about Dr. Morozov.
Heard. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
As you get into the chef's neighborhood, you're driving into the city of Kaliningrad, not in the outskirts where you've been. You're coming into the more ruined part, the part that was bombed. There was street fighting here. That was only 5 years ago. It's like this part of the city has been forgotten. There are still bullet holes in the buildings. There's still rubble that hasn't been cleared. Semi-ruined buildings, although not a significant amount of them. Most of those are further in. But this is a workers section. Everyone here lives in identical tenements, big concrete brick monstrosities. And Kolya, you know that the chef keeps their kitchen in the basement of one of these tenements. And for those who don't know, it would be impossible to find. They all basically look the same, but you have the connections, so you pull up to a building that looks like any other building. 10 stories tall, very small windows, heavy steel doors as the entrance. And you know that you go in and you go to the basement, and you have to go through the blast door, and then you have to talk to Slouch.
I would just like to reiterate that this would be more successful if it was just me going in.
I do not think that is true.
And
I was issued an invitation of a sort as well. Dr. Darova told me that the chef and I should meet.
I can just be very persuasive.
Very well.
So with Irina's body out of the car, at this point it's full, like she is not walking. This is full carrying.
Yeah, I'm absolutely just carrying her.
Still holding her hand.
You go in. There's like a very basic foyer. Is it Formica floor? Like that sort of spotty whatever. There's a row of metallic postal boxes on the side. There is a stair that goes up, and then there is a stair above which it reads basement or cellar, and there is a a sign for a bunker there as well. Like this was a community center for if bombing happened, you go to this building. There is a bomb shelter, basically. Not a nuclear bomb shelter. That hasn't happened yet, but this is from the war. So you know that this is the place you want to go. The whole place just smells like people and food and, that sort of mingle that you get in a big apartment building. Everything's a little dingy. But the door to the basement looks well used. Like most of these doors don't open. No one's had need to go into a bomb shelter. But the floor in front of it is very clean. Like the door has been polishing the floor from use. And if you go down, it's just concrete stairs. Takes you to a basement. And there's racks of laundry machines. And at the far end, there is a gigantic steel blast door. Like, got the circle hatch that opens. There's got a sign that says raid shelter on it. And you know that this is step one of getting through the chef's defenses, if you will.
I have to talk to Slouch now.
So you need the password first, which you do have. It changes. It may be a slightly old password, but the password of the day that you remember is sausage.
Nice.
Okay. Then yeah, I would Collier would walk up, still holding Arena, but it's like she weighs nothing, basically, and knock on the door, like just to make sure that there's somebody to hear the password.
Okay. So you knock, boom, 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 and it's like a reverberation that you hear in the whole space. And then from behind the blast door, somehow, it should be more muffled than this, but a voice that is pretty clear says, "Why are you banging?"
Is it Slouch? Is that the name?
Slouch is the name of the chef's bodyguard.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. Just making sure that you are awake. I have brought the sausage that you are looking for.
There's a noise, and then there's a series
Is it
of
laughter?
You might think it is a suppressed chuckle, but from a very large person who is very difficult to suppress that chuckle. But there's the sound of metal unlocking, and the wheel spins, and the door is thick, but it sort of does that like slow open. And standing in front of you is Slouch, who is an ogre seeming, or ogre kith. And it's at this point you realize why the nickname, because the ceiling is maybe 6'5", and Slouch is at least 8 foot. So there's quite a hunch.
I love him.
And Slouch is actually a lady ogre.
I love her.
Short buzzed hair, just like granite face, like literally seems to be made of stone. Very, very bright yellow eyes. Wearing like a worker's tunic with overalls that are very stained and dirty. One strap is undone. And Slouch has a sledgehammer over her shoulder. She says, "Are you the sausage that you brought?"
Clearly carrying a very injured woman.
It was just some spring shit.
Yes. Spring sausage.
The best sausage.
Is the
What are you
chef in?
doing here? There are forms, Kolya. We have to go through this. Why do you need the chef?
Is this more code? Would I know, or is this now very? Can I be honest now?
This, you know that the chef likes or doesn't like to treat people who don't not need it. It has to. It's typically like things need to be quite bad. So this is a why are you wasting the chef's time?
There is a problem. Obviously, there is a wound, but beyond that, she bleeds. She bleeds black from her eyes.
Slouch takes the sledgehammer off her shoulder, puts it down, takes Arena from you, just like physically pulls her. And again, it's like Arena weighs nothing, despite herself being like a 6 foot tall muscle mommy.
Yeah.
She brings Arena like just up by the shoulders, looks at her, sort of turns her around, leans in, gives a sniff. I don't think you should be wasting your time. She'll be dead soon.
She doesn't have to be.
What does autumn care if spring dies?
Collier looks nervous.
I would be interested merely in finding out what is happening to her.
We could find
And
that out once she's dead.
I could, but isn't it better to build up some goodwill between the courts?
Court goodwill. What does that get us? A bunch of privileged fucks running around fucking each other and fucking us.
You make many good points. Many good points.
The best years of my life are when the courts are at each other's throats and they leave us
Yes.
alone.
We all agree. All of us here agree on that point.
Of course.
Yes, obviously. If you think that this is perhaps, and he will raise his voice at this moment and say, beyond the knowledge or capabilities of the chef, that is one thing.
I will have you make a manipulation, subterfuge or persuasion roll.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, good.
Hey, wait. I got an 8 and a 10. I reroll the 10, right?
That explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's
it's
save
just
Irina's life.
2 successes.
The slouch gives Irina back to Yuna. Like, hands her to Yuna. And, like, it's in a way that she, like, wraps an arm around your shoulders so that you can support
Absolutely
her.
fall 20.
Arcadia helps. Arcadia helps with more strength than you would expect.
Thank you, friend.
And Slouch gets down very close into your face, Kolya, and says, "If I didn't respect you so much, coward, I would crush your skull for saying so."
You would try, my friend.
That would be something to see. And there's like a smirk of, ooh, I would really like to just punch you in the face right now.
I think we're both stone bones also. So
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible. But then Slouch sort of backs off and says, "They're in a bit of a mood, so but I'll get them. Wait here." And they gesture to the like waiting room of the chef's office, which is really just like 2 very stained couches, a table with some chipped like mugs on it, coffee that's probably been in the pot for a few days. Not much by way of aesthetics, but they go back into like a curtained area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few moments. You hear low voices, the deep rumble of Slouch, and then a more normal toned, angry sounding response. And then you hear footsteps, like very quick footsteps. And the curtains just like whoosh open, and the chef is standing there, arms on their hips. They are a wizened Shurigen, like wearing a sort of old service beanie. They've got sort of a patchy beard. They're smoking this gigantic cigar.
I'm in love.
A-frame shirt just stained with every sort of chemical compound you can imagine. Doctor's overcoat, also stained to shit. And
God,
then,
I'm in love.
and just some very like basic natty trousers. And they sort of chew their cigar. "Who says that I can't fix whatever the fuck you've brought in? Are you fucking kidding me? You come in here and you say..." Everyone pointing
Looks
at
to
Kolya.
Kolya,
yep. How long has it been at this point? How long is there left?
For Irina?
Yeah, because it was an hour 15, I believe.
Yeah.
Before.
Raph doesn't even want to hear the deets. Given how fast Kolya was driving, maybe 45 minutes.
There's 45 minutes left.
Yeah, she's probably got 45 minutes.
All right, I'll glance at my watch and say, "You have 45 minutes to prove him wrong."
He looks at you and is like, they look at you. Not like winter to give hints. What am I supposed to be fixing?
I gesture.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was so focused on. And then their eyes go wide. And is this who I think it is?
44 minutes, if you would please.
What happened?
She was attacked.
2 shots.
Looks at Yuna. You're telling me that Spring was defeated by 2 bullets? That seems unlikely.
Not regular bullets. Bullets from some man made of goop. It's canon
Look.
now.
Look at her eyes, Chef.
You telling me there is a goop man on the loose?
There is a goop man.
That
Look
is-
at her veins.
That is fascinating. Okay. And they take
She
out
has been poisoned.
they take out little like Trotsky spectacles and
Love
put them
him.
on.
Obsessed with him. Go down.
Gets like all up in Arena's business, moving her head side to side. Oh yes, this is very bad. I'm surprised she's not dead already.
Spring is strong.
So they say. I don't think she has long. You said 45 minutes? Well,
43 now.
43 now, right?
Chef,
All right.
please.
Well, I think I can heal her. But you know, this sort of healing does not come without strings attached.
What would she not be able to give you that you would want?
There is a problem I'm having that the council has refused to listen to. Unsurprising. No offense. I will tell you about it when she's better.
Hmm.
Then I would like your help.
Yes, Chef.
Howard, I knew I liked you, even though we've never met. All right, bring her into the back.
Wait.
And Slouch will pick up Arena and like bring her back behind the curtained area. They stay open, so if you wanted to, you would be welcome back there.
I don't
Mhm.
let go of her.
Oh, yes.
I would like to watch.
Of course you do. Kolya and Yuna, are you staying or going?
Yeah, I'm not letting go of her.
Okay.
I am terrified of these 3 being alone with this person. So
Right, so you are brought into the chef's kitchen, which is mostly a alchemical lab. There's, it's all kinds of like Erlenmeyer flasks and Bunsen burners and weird twisty glass tubes that allow you to control the volume of shit chemical. You know what I mean.
Like
Science.
home.
Science
Yes.
stuff. Right, there's science stuff. It smells
magic science stuff.
Yeah, magic science
Yeah.
stuff. It smells very acrid back here, and it is dingy as fuck. Like, this is not a sterile, clean work environment. However, this is also clearly a place where people come to get healed. There's like a gurney, there's medical equipment, there's like an IV bag, if that has been invented yet. Like, the equipment exists. And the chef plops Arena down on a gurney and starts going and grabbing tubes and collecting things and getting stuff together. And they say, do you still have the bullets?
Yes.
Sure. Oh,
I did shove my fingers in the bullet hole, so I'm assuming unless they turn to goop, then I've probably plucked them out.
they did not turn to goop.
Okay, great.
So you have them. The chef takes them, runs over to their bench. There's some tinkering noises, and I would like all of you to make me a wits resolve roll, please.
Wits resolve. Yeah, sure.
Would you describe this as a ghost kitchen?
No. We don't fix ghosts here. We fix people. Okay.
Are we people?
Yeah, you're people. Everyone but Veronica, and I assume, Veronica, this is because you are very focused in on what is going on with the arena situation.
Oh yeah.
The others of you notice that there is another curtained area back here. The curtains are slightly parted, and they're like, you know, a white medical curtain that's all stained and discolored. And it's the smell that gets you first, because there is this acrid smell over everything, and then the smell of the chef's cigar and whatever cologne Slouch is wearing. But under that, you don't recognize the smell at first, even though you perceive it, but it's fruit. And it's not fruit that you remember from this world. But Arcadia, you recognize blushberry. And Yuna, you recognize Dreamadroop. And Kolya, you recognize Murmurleaf. These are all hedge fruits. But the chef is working and muttering to themselves, and compounds are being made, and you hear some gasps and some, oh dear, that's very not good. Oh, very bad, very bad. And finally, the chef turns around and says, well, I am afraid to inform you that the counselor has indeed been poisoned. It is blackroot extract.
Blackroot extract. Let me guess. This is from hedge.
Very astute. And there is a problem with that, of course. The hedge does not exist.
But can you fix it?
Fortunately, I can. You've come to the right place. Just one moment. And the chef hurries into the back, this area from which you noticed some other odors. And there's some clinking, the sound of doors opening, and the chef comes back with a vial about yay big. Just a little one with this very pale green coloration, almost like absinthe. They say, now, this will cure her, but she's going to be very weak for the next few days. Takes a lot out of the person.
Better that than dead.
I agree.
We give it to her now.
Of course. And puts a syringe in it, draws out an amount, sticks it in, and you immediately see Arena's eyes flutter open and the blackening of the veins start to recede.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Could I do a roll to see if I can try to figure out what they just injected?
You certainly could. Why don't you make me an intelligence medicine roll? Anyone who would like to.
Could I use science and chemistry?
Yes,
I'll take medicine otherwise, but
I'd allow a chemistry roll. The chef is a pharmacist of extreme skill.
Okay.
Okay. All of you recognize this as a very common curative from Arcadia. And I would like all of you to make me a clarity roll. 4 dice.
Come on.
how many dice was that, Alex?
4.
Even if we have higher clarity?
Yes.
Bro, my life is over. My life is not over.
Okay. You all succeed. There is a memory at the back of your minds. All of you have ingested this at one time or another because of the various dangers, poisons, illnesses, venoms in Arcadia. But we won't have none of you lose clarity for it, so that's good. But the chef, very satisfied with themselves, sort of leans back, looks at Veronica. 45 minutes. I could
How long
cure
was it?
7 times over.
Well done. I always enjoy watching a master at work.
Chef's eyebrows go up. You know, it's not usually that winter has such a way with words. It might be the first winter I haven't absolutely loathed.
Oh, I take that as such a compliment. I thank you.
I expect nothing less.
Hmm.
Folia, you keep very interesting company.
On that, we agree.
Now, spring is saved. You've got what you came here for. Now we need to speak about payment.
What is
If-
it that you ask?
And if we had further questions, would those be better asked now before we discuss payment or after?
I think they would.
Hmm.
It will allow me to recalculate.
Of course. Dr. Darova, thought that it might be good for us to speak. I had questions about the chemical composition of some fluid that we found. Fluid, I believe, not dissimilar from what was coming out of the councilwoman.
Interesting. Dr. Dorova. You move in high circles, although I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. How is the good doctor?
She is good.
Glad to hear that my sister is keeping well. Now, show me this fluid.
And Arcadia will take out the sample that he has.
Chef gets very close into your personal space. Like
Arcadia is fine with that.
Cigar almost touching your face. Yeah, that is a black liquid fluid. Yeah, fluid is a good word. I assume that it came out of a person?
Yes.
And the person is no longer able to tell you where they acquired the fluid?
They were deceased before the fluid began coming out of them.
Ah, now that's very interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes. All right. Well, this seems interesting enough. You want me to run some tests?
I would be much appreciated. I would be fascinated to know the chemical composition.
Well, I already have a lab assistant. Looks over at Slouch, who is just like scratching her back with a sledgehammer. But you seem like you know what you're doing.
I have spent much time in labs. Yes.
That would account for the pasty complexion.
Mm.
Very well. So, I save your spring counselor. I run your chemical tests. What else?
I mean, I've got some wounds.
What? You have some wounds, Kolya. What
Yes,
kind of wounds?
some 3 lethal.
All right. Well, could have a look at your wounds, or Slouch could look at them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're offering me a choice between you and Slouch,
Of course. It's a free country, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it certainly is. God, yes, yeah. Well, I trust your expertise and Slouch's as well. So whatever you both think is best, that's more than fine with me.
You feel 2 arms behind, or hands under your armpits, and you're just sort of lifted up and carried into the back.
Okay, well, this
Incredible.
feels unnecessary.
Does anybody else have any wounds, like Kolya?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Just staring at Kolya being carried off. Absolutely, I do.
All right. Well, you two go with Kolya. Doctor, I presume you are a doctor.
Dr. Volkov.
Dr. Volkov and I are going to run some chemical tests. In the
Yes, chef.
meantime, you'll be in Slouch's capable but enormous hands.
And Arcadia, I think Yuna's just gonna like sidle up to you and say, now that we are fated friends, I hope that you can look over Arena while I get my wounds patched.
It would be my honor.
Also, let me return this to you. And she hands you back your handkerchief. It is very stained and nasty, which
It goes immediately into a specimen jar.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then she kind of turns and says, Veronica, and kind of bows a little bit over and leads you the way. And go ahead.
I will go ahead.
All right. So you go into the back room, which is where the chef went to get this compound. And Kolya, you've already been settled very gently on one of the, like, there are beds back there. There are 5 beds back there.
Is Kolya in a burrito?
Yes.
Nice.
The rest of you are promptly swaddled up and put onto the beds. And from there, you can see Slouch sort of going around grabbing tinctures and bandages and general medical what have yous. And you're distracted by the Slouch because there's a lot of Slouch. So it takes you a moment to notice that one wall of this room is not a wall. It seems to be somehow, miraculously, impossibly, hedge. And growing from it are some of the various plants that you recognized the smell of. And then Slouch is there, and Kolio, we're going to try and heal you first. So let me make a medicine roll for Slouch.
Oh boy, you're rolling?
Yeah. That's one success. So you are going to remove 1 point of lethal damage.
I have 2 left.
Okay, well, give it time. Slouch is doing Slouch's best, all right? And it's a lot of like pulling you up, wrapping you in bandages, giving you
Besito on the
various
forehead.
mixtures. Yeah, kissing you on the forehead. I would say it's very homoerotic, but it's not. It's just
Erotic.
It's just regular. And then we'll roll for Yuna. Yuna, you roll heal 2 points of lethal damage.
And lethal is X, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
And Veronica, 1 point of lethal damage for you. Meanwhile, outside, the chef has taken Arcadia to the station, and the chef clearly knows what they're talking about, and they expect you to be just sort of, scalpel, like lab assistant sous chef style. I will have you make a intelligence science roll.
That is 2 successes.
Very good. So, with your assistance, the chef starts running extracts, or starts extracting, starts separating, starts doing some weird arcane stuff that you're not quite sure what's going on. You follow proper procedure. The chef doesn't believe in that. At the same time, they're very complimentary of your skills. I would not have expected an academy scientist to have the flexibility necessary. I commend
I
you.
have been told I'm rather adaptable.
We adapt or we die.
Precisely.
There's hissing, there's popping, there's boiling, there's burning over. The chef is not a neat scientist. But in the end, there is an extract that is made that you can take a chemical composition of. And we were doing the poison, or we're doing the compound?
The compound, the substance found that has been secreting from bodies.
Okay. So the compound is different from the poison. The like ichor that was coming out of Arena is not compound death, which may be a good thing to confirm. But the compound is in fact compound death. It is made of various arcane infusions of hedge plants and other sort of Arcadian flora, fauna, mineral. It's extremely complex. You don't even knowing the recipe of it, even if you had the ingredients, you're not sure that you could put it together. It's that complex and delicate. You are muted. Oh, now you're good.
Yep. That was me talking to myself for a moment.
I see. Okay.
Arcadia takes a moment to consider that and then looks over at the chef and asks them, have you ever seen anything remotely like this before?
No. This is beyond, I think, both of us. This is Fey bullshit.
Interesting. A question, if I may be so bold.
Are you
What-
not the very definition of bold?
I like to be respectful in the presence of greatness.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Continue.
That substance that you use to heal Arena. How did you come about it?
This is not something I advertise, and it's maybe a terrible idea telling a member of the court, but I believe Autumn can keep secrets.
That is what we do.
Follow. And he leads you into the back where you see Kolya is getting a massive shoulder massage from Slouch, who has just been like going down the line, like, you know, massaging shoulders, booping forehead, foot massages, like just giving you the treatment in the way she knows how. Your muscles hate it in the moment, but they feel pretty good afterwards. And you see the hedge that's there. You see the plants growing from it. And he says, when we fled Arcadia, this was all I took with me. Untouched by the madness. It was just a root. It grew. Now it's all I have left. I'm able to make extracts from the plants that grow. It's not many. I have to be careful about what I harvest. But I do keep a stock on hand for those in desperate need.
You become more fascinating by the moment, Chef.
No, I like to think that I have an aura of mystique and mystery as well as fascination.
Can't it be all?
I think it is. Now, we've healed you. We have run your tests. Now, payment. There is something happening among the young men and the women who live in these tenements. It's not fading. I know them. They did not fade. It disappeared. The council doesn't care. The people, well, we've lost 12. They're starting to worry, and so they're ignoring it. Because it's young people, troublemakers, layabouts. I knew them. Now they're gone. And I want you to find them. Because no one else cares enough to do so.
Is there any trace left? Any hint of how they were taken?
I wish there were. But these are individuals who like to make themselves scarce at the best of times.
But you knew them.
Yes, they came to me for various reasons. Some like to play chess, some cards, some like to drink with Slouch, which is a terrible idea because Slouch will drink you under the table.
I would love to drink with Slouch.
Something tells me that's more a threat than I realize.
Mid massage.
Slouch leans in very low and says, I would love to drink with you. It might kill you, but it would be fun.
What a way to go.
Fun. I would choose that way.
Anyway, they saw this as their home for various reasons.
I think that is more than reasonable. We would all agree. In exchange for everything.
I would be curious if it has anything to do with our other business.
Other business?
Not something you should concern yourself about for now.
When Winter talks, I listen.
Can you give us at least names, addresses, where we can find them, or where we would have found them?
I have a list. I can provide it. And I will drop that in the chat for all of you.
And if you have perhaps any sort of strong memory, they have a location, a description, that will help me.
I will see what I can do, but the last I saw, or I know, the most recent to vanish, went to the islands. Did not come back.
Well, hopefully our investigation will not take us that far.
You would be wise to be cautious if you go there.
Agreed. Well, we will look into this. It sounds like.
Yes.
Chef holds out their hand to you, Kolya. We have an agreement.
Yeah. Kolya will take his hand and will shake it. I do have harvest one from pledges.
Yep.
So
okay.
Call this a pledge, maybe?
We will.
Hell yeah.
We will. I will sort that out with you. What that looks like.
Okay.
I would say it's fair that Arena's life is worth the life of 12.
The life of one is worth the life of any other comrade.
Okay.
All right. Well then.
We all agree.
We all agree.
Once again.
all agree.
Then I will leave you in the capable hands of Slouch. I have a date, if you'll excuse me. It just sort of takes off the lab coat, puts on a different lab coat that's
my God.
slightly less stained, puts a new cigar in their mouth, sort of messes with the beanie to get it on straight, looks in the mirror, irresistible, and then walks out the door.
Yes, chef.
Heard, chef.
Yes, chef.
And I think with the chef leaving for their date and the kind but firm hands of Slouch tending you and your various wounds, that is going to be a fine place for us to end this particular episode of Cold Iron. We did it. We all survived.
Can we please get some behind the scenes of Chef? Who are they dating? I want the tabloids of Chef. I want to know everything about them. I want to know who they're dating, who they're into.
You're going to have to develop
who was their core.
You're gonna have to develop some more underworld contacts if you want to get the DL on the chef.
What's their favorite drink?
I might know the deal on the chef.
You might. Also,
what's your favorite drink?
If you go drinking with Slouch, you might find all of this out. Who can say?
Slouch, what's your favorite drink?
Vodka. Straight.
I pull out a shot.
Just like we're starting here. We're starting here.
Would you like to play a game?
Oh. All right. Well, I'm just making a note to myself to work that into next session. Okay. Going drinking with Slouch. All right. Well, that is episode 4 of Cold Iron. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You survived. You saved Arena. That was good. You didn't save Katarina. She didn't make it.
Did my best.
You did.
Did my best. Showed up.
Showed up, right. It was there. I was there when she died.
I reached for him.
Yep.
I said that.
You did. So we've got the Bear of Kaliningrad on the loose. We've got Misha on the hunt. We've got drinking to do in next episode. I think we're gonna have a fun time. I hope we'll have a fun time. Thank you for playing.
Absolutely wonderful.
I hope so too.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, Chef.
Do you want to do outros and plugs?
Let's do it.
Oh, right.
Let's do it.
Same order, I guess, which means...
Should we not go the backward?
Speaking of backwards.
Flawless.
That was on purpose.
Speaking of backwards, hi, I'm Alex. I'm at Mightiest Finn on Twitter. I'm Mighty Finn on Blue Sky. I write games in the backwards universe, and we have an official launch date for our Kickstarter, which is going to be Backwoods and Back Channels, 2 books in one thing. That's launching, I want to say, October 3rd. October 3rd. Anyway, follow our Kickstarter pre-launch page with all the deets. Talking with Asa, but we're maybe going to do a giveaway where if we get to 400 followers before we launch, this guy is going to run a game of Back Channels or Backwoods, your choice, for 1 lucky winner and 3 of their friends. So that could be fun if you think that I run games decently. If not, you might just get stuck with me for 4 hours. Who knows? Find out about it. I think it's going to be if you subscribe to our newsletter and like whatever the backwards tweet about the pre-launch page is and retweet it. And that's how we're going to do it. I'll have more deets in 2 weeks once Ace and I have a chance to talk about it. But otherwise, I'm running this game. I've got 2 things for the Crossroads Halloween special. I am running a sci-fi horror game called Sins of the Mother, which is using a system that I have written. Great cast, great crew. Hopefully that will be fun. Also running partly with Carrie the Crossroads Horror Movie Marathon, where every episode one person maybe dies. Definitely dies. That one was a lot of fun. We're playing with horror movie tropes. Each episode is a different trope. We've got a slasher, we've got a creature feature, we've got something paranormal, we've got aliens, we've got Michael Myers types. It's a lot of fun. People have died. There have been tears. I enjoyed myself. It's going to be a good time. You should check that one out. Other projects happening, I'll talk about them. A Season of Secrets and Shadows. This Friday, there's an autumnal ball. I will be there in all of my fancy garb, and hopefully nothing bad happens, JD. Nothing bad happens. I'm calling it right now. We're just going to have fun and flirt and schmooze. It's going to be great. That's it. Okay, I'm done.
Well, speaking of flirting and schmoozing, never heard a better transition.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raph. I played Yuna Odolova tonight. I am returning on Thursday here to play in JD's homebrew game, a psychological thriller called Redacted. Very fun. I'm still the only normal one, still the mom of the group, holding strong. surviving and thriving. That's Sophie. And then on Friday, I will also be back to cause not chaos, romance, sweet flirtation, all good stuff for the autumn party, fall ball. It's gonna be great. Me and Fitz are gonna have a great time, and I can't wait for this absolute OBS melter. And then the next week on Tuesday, I'll be back here for who knows what'll be back on Tuesday.
Garth Encounters part
Garth
something.
Encounters part the Loust broadcast. Come back for it. Amelia is still only on chapter 5 of Little House on the Prairie, so there's still so much more to learn about Ma and Pa England. So that's about it. And Pepita is here, so I will probably lower the camera at some point. She heard her name and she's running. I'm grabbing her. The child.
Wait,
Pepita,
baby, sweet baby.
Pepita.
Oh my god.
She's so furious.
She's so mad.
So angry.
So angry.
She's so angry.
Okay, I'm done.
I can't. Yeah, okay, cool. Wait, no, hold on. One of these will do it. Well, now it's both. Hold on. The whole thing got fucked up.
No.
They're not supposed to happen at the same time. So that's what that was. Okay, so that was spring, which means
it's autumn.
It would
It's
be
autumn.
Yeah, it would be Q. Q's not here, so it's autumn.
Hey, I am JD. Tonight I've been Arcadia Volkov, the Autumn Court. It's always helpful for me when my players go first, because then I can just say, see me back here on Thursday and Friday for Redacted. And when they mentioned OBS breaking, that is because we are going to try to do a season of Secrets and Shadows with 7 out of the 8 players at the table. And it is going to be very interesting, and I don't know how broken it's going to be, but it's fine. You may also, we're not 100% sure, you may also see me tomorrow over on Bleak Season's channel for episode 3 of Penny Dreadful, in which Dr. Henry Ellis revealed that, well, he has a dark side. And we're going to see what happens now that that dark side is out and loose on the streets of London. You can also find me with Exquisite Corpse Presents for Sister Cities this Sunday, and I will be with Lost Caravan on Sunday for the return of Nova, which is now using Mothership. So we are getting into very deadly territory after playing a bunch of people who could not die. So we're going to see how long Corbin lasts. It should be very interesting. And that's it for now.
Hello, friends. I've been Faris Arcadia playing Veronica Strogov. Hopefully my internet survives this. You will find me mostly at Crossroads Games. Tomorrow night is the premiere of episode 3 of Lacuna, Ready Player 4. I'm fucking stoked. And we've got an entire October full of Halloween madness. So join us for all of the spooky, scary fun, including featuring me with things like that lovely, wonderful, awful Alex is evil, the true monster. You'll also see me here in this and other things, and that's mostly it for right now, but we have some really cool stuff coming up, so be sure to check us out at Crossroads and me at Farakaya on Blue Sky and all of the socials, because I'm great, I think so. So that's it. That's all I got.
That's true.
It's absolutely true. Hello, I'm still Will. I was Kolya Smirnov tonight, the unaligned changeling of our group. I will also be present on Friday for our face-melting, OBS-breaking Season of Secrets and Shadows game. And then not next Tuesday, but a Tuesday in the future, Class Reunion will be back, which I'm very excited about. I think that's most of the stuff. There's some stuff that I did on Crossroads that's coming out. I don't know when, and then I might also be running a thing for Crossroads at some point. That's still being worked out, but it's exciting. I'm very excited about that. So I think that's most of the stuff that I have going on. Keep an eye out for that, I guess. But on that note, I think that's all of us. I guess we're ready to call it a night. So thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. This was a blast and a lot of fun. If you're not already following us on the socials, you can. And if you want to join the Discord community, which is a great place full of great people, we would love to have you be a part of it. You can click that link right there and join. We are gonna disappear in just a second, but don't go away because we are gonna raid someone. I'm very out of practice. Should have pulled this up ahead of time. But yeah, don't go away. We're gonna do that, and it'll be Lost Caravan. We'll raid Lost Caravan. Why not? So yeah, stick around for that. Hop over, say hi to friends at Lost Caravan, and I think on that note, say goodnight, everybody.
Night,
Good night, everybody.
Good night.